You don't belong here. The whole engagement hall went silent. Vanessa Hartwell's voice had been sharp enough to stop the music, stop the waiters, and stop every smile in the room. At the bottom of the grand staircase stood a small boy in a white shirt that was too big for him. He was only 4 years old. His name was Noah. One hand held the railing. The other held a scratched silver toy car. He did not cry. He did not run. He just looked up at the beautiful woman in the diamond dress, and blinked like he did not understand why everyone was staring at him. Vanessa stepped closer. I said, "You don't belong here," she repeated, lower this time but crueler. "This is a private family celebration, not a nursery for servants' children." A few guests looked away. Some pretended to fix their glasses. Others watched because people often watch cruelty when it is dressed in expensive clothes. Noah's small fingers tightened around the toy car. His mother, Elena, rushed from the nice entrance, with a tray still in her hands. "No," she whispered, her face pale. "Baby, come here." But Vanessa turned on her. "Is this your child?" she asked. Elena lowered her eyes. "Yes, Mom." "I am sorry, he was in the staff room. He must have wandered out." "Wandered out," Vanessa gave a cold laugh. "Into my engagement party. In front of investors, friends and family." Elena's hands shook so hard the glasses on her tray clicked together. "I'll take him away right now," she said. "No." Vanessa caught Noah gently by the arm at first, then harder when he tried to step back. "Let him hear it. Children should learn their place early." Noah looked at his mother. Elena, one of the older maids, whispered from the doorway, "Don't say anything." But how can a mother stay decent when her child is being humiliated? What would you have done if that was your little boy standing there? Elena set the tray down. "Please," she said. "He is just a child." Vanessa smiled without kindness. "A child who is wearing cheap shoes on imported marble," she said. "A child who should be behind the kitchen door, not standing where real guests can see him." Noah looked down at his shoes. They were clean. Elena had washed them twice that morning. Then Vanessa bent closer to his face. "Listen carefully," she said. "After today, you and your mother will not be seen in this house again." That was when the room changed. At the top of the staircase, Adrian Blackwell stopped walking. He was 42 years old, worth more than $900 million, and known for never showing surprise in public. But now his right hand froze on the banister. He had heard Vanessa's words. He had seen Elena's face. And now, for the first time, he saw the boy clearly. Noah lifted his head. The light from the chandelier touched his eyes. Adrian's breath caught in his chest. The glass in his hand slipped from his fingers and shattered on the marble floor. Because that little boy did not just look afraid. He looked familiar. And the silver toy car in his hand was something Adrian had buried in his memory 17 years ago. Elena Morales had learned how to move through the Blackwell mansion without making a sound. She arrived every morning at 5:40, before the sun reached the iron gates. She wore the same black uniform, tied her hair in the same low bun, and kept one small photo of Noah in her apron pocket. The mansion had 32 rooms, 3 kitchens, a glass garden, and floors so polished that Elena could see her tired face in them. She cleaned rooms where nobody slept and served food that cost more than her weekly pay. Noah usually stayed in the staff room with Mrs. Phelps, the oldest housekeeper. He had a coloring book, 2 crackers, and one rule: do not come out unless Mama comes for you. But Noah was 4. 4-year-old boys do not understand private parties. They understand hunger, fear, and the sound of their mother's voice. Elena had brought him to work because daycare wanted $200 she did not have. The clinic had called again too. Noah's breathing treatment was overdue. His cough had returned 3 nights ago, and Elena had sat beside his bed, counting each breath. That morning, Noah had asked, "Mama, is this a castle?" Elena had smiled even though her eyes burned. No, baby, it is just a house. But why is it so big? Because some people have big houses. Do they have big hearts too? Elena had not answered. The owner was Adrian Blackwell. People knew him from business channels. He was 42, unmarried, and worth more than $900 million. After building Blackwell Medical into a national company, people said he was cold. Elena did not think he was cruel. Cruel people noticed the weak and enjoyed it. Adrian often did not notice anyone at all. He moved through his home like a man who had forgotten how to belong there. His younger brother, Daniel, had died years ago. The staff did not speak about it. They only said the house changed after that. Then Vanessa came. She came with diamonds, soft perfume, and a smile made for cameras. Everyone said she had brought life back into Adrian's world. Elena only knew one thing. When Vanessa smiled at Noah, the smile never reached her eyes. Vanessa Hartwell did not shout on her first day in this house. That was what made her dangerous. She arrived 3 weeks before the engagement dinner with 12 suitcases, 2 assistants and a list of changes. The curtains were wrong. The flowers were too plain. The staff uniforms looked old. The silver trays needed polishing twice a day. She said all of this gently. She said it with a laugh. But every servant understood the warning underneath. Elena was cleaning the west hallway when Vanessa first saw Noah. He was sitting near the staff door, moving his silver toy car along the floor. Vanessa stopped. "Whose child is that?" Elena stood quickly. "Mine, Mom. I am sorry, he is quiet, he will not disturb anyone." Vanessa looked Noah over from his dark hair to his cheap shoes. "This is not a daycare center." "I know, Mom. And Mr. Blackwell knows?" Elena swallowed. Mrs. Phelps allowed it only for today. Noah smiled at Vanessa because he still believed adults smiled back. Vanessa did not. "Children leave marks," she said. "Fingerprints, noise, questions. I do not want marks in my house." My house. Elena heard it clearly. After that, small things began to happen. Noah's crackers disappeared from the staff shelf. The chair he used was moved to storage. One afternoon, Elena found his coloring book in the trash. Mrs. Phelps whispered, "Keep your head down until the wedding passes." But the wedding would not solve anything. It would make Vanessa permanent. Adrian saw none of it. He spent long hours in the city office, then returned with phone calls pressed to his ear. Vanessa became sweet the second he entered a room. "Darling," she would say, "you work too hard." He would give a tired smile. Elena watched from doorways and wondered how a man who could read contracts worth millions could not read the face of the woman's beside him. One evening Noah asked, "Does the pretty lady not like me?" Elena knelt in front of him. "She does not know you." "Then I can tell her my name." "No." Elena held his hands. "You stay near Mrs. Phelps, promise me." Noah nodded, but his eyes looked hurt. "Remember this. Children notice rejection before they understand the word for it." The engagement dinner began at 7 o'clock. By 8, the mansion was full of guests in black coats, silk gowns, and polished shoes. The string quartet played near the glass garden. Cameras flashed near the staircase. Every flower was white because Vanessa said color looked cheap in photographs. Elena moved between tables with a tray of champagne. Her feet hurt, but she kept her face calm. Noah was in the staff room with Mrs. Phelps, asleep under a gray blanket. At least, that was what Elena believed. Noah woke when the music grew louder. Nobody saw him leave the staff room. Later, Mrs. Phelps would say she had stepped away for less than 1 minute. That was all it took. Noah heard voices. He thought maybe his mother was there. He walked through the side hallway, holding his silver toy car against his chest. He did not touch the walls. He did not run. He only followed the sound until he reached the staircase. One guest saw him first and smiled. "Oh, how sweet. Is he part of the ceremony?" Vanessa turned. Her face changed before anyone else understood why. Elena. Noah called. The word was but it carried. Elena turned so fast that 2 glasses almost slipped from her tray. Noah, she whispered. Vanessa crossed the room before Elena could reach him. What are you doing here? Noah looked up. I'm finding Mama. This is not where servants' children play. I wasn't playing. Then why are you standing in front of my guests? He held up the toy car. I can go back. Vanessa took his arm. Not hard enough to leave a bruise. Elena reached them. Please let him go. I will take him away. No, Vanessa said. Since you brought him into Mr. Blackwell's home, let everyone see what you think of our rules. I did not bring him out here. But he is here. The music had stopped. Was watched with raised glasses and closed mouths. Vanessa bent toward Noah. You do not walk into a room like this unless you are invited. I'm sorry, Noah whispered. That should have ended it. A decent adult would have stopped there. Vanessa did not stop. Sorry does not change what you are, she said. You are the maid's child. You belong behind the kitchen door. Elena stepped forward. Do not speak to him like that. Vanessa turned. Excuse me, he is 4 years old, and you are paid to follow orders. I follow orders, but I am still his mother. For 1 second, Vanessa looked pleased. Then listen as a mother, Vanessa said. After tonight, pack your things. Noah looked at Elena. Are we bad, Mama? Can you imagine a child asking that in a room full of millionaires? Elena's tray trembled. No, baby. You are not bad. Vanessa pointed toward the service hall. You don't belong here. Go where people like you belong. Then Adrian's voice came from the staircase. Let go of the boy. No one moved. Vanessa's hand stayed around Noah's arm. Elena's hand stayed halfway in the air. The guests turned toward the staircase as Adrian Blackwell came down 1 step at a time. He did not shout. That made the room even quieter. I said, let go of the boy. Vanessa released Noah at once. Adrian, darling, this is not what it looks like. It looked clear from where I stood. Her smile returned, but it was thin. The child wandered into the dinner. I was only correcting the situation before it disturbed your guests. My guests are adults, Adrian said. They can survive seeing a child. Few people lowered their eyes. Elena pulled Noah close. She wanted to disappear, but Adrian's stare had moved from Vanessa to the boy. His face had lost all color. Noah hid partly behind his mother's skirt. Only one side of his face showed under the chandelier light. Adrian stopped 2 steps away. His fingers tightened. That was when the glass slipped from his hand. It struck the marble and shattered. Vanessa flinched. Noah pressed closer to Elena. Adrian did not look at the glass. He looked at Noah's eyes. They were gray with a small ring of darker blue around the edge. Daniel had eyes like that. Adrian had not seen that exact shade in 17 years. Then Noah turned his head, and Adrian saw the small birthmark near his left ear. A round mark. No bigger than a pea. Daniel had the same mark. Then the boy lifted his silver toy car. His fingers were shaking. Please don't break it, Noah whispered. It was my daddy's. Adrian's face changed again. Elena closed her eyes. She knew that sentence had opened a door. She had spent 4 years trying to keep shut. Adrian's voice came out low. What did you say? Noah looked at his mother for help. Vanessa gave a nervous laugh. Children say strange things. He is probably confused. Adrian ignored her. He crouched slowly until he was almost level with Noah. May I see the car? Noah held it tighter. Elena whispered, It is okay. The boy placed it in Adrian's hand. The silver paint was scratched. One wheel was loose. On the bottom, carved badly with a pocket knife, were 3 letters. DB. Adrian touched them with his thumb. Daniel Blackwell. His younger brother. His lost brother. Elena, he said. Where did my brother's car come from? Elena did not answer at first. Her face had gone white, and Noah's hand was wrapped around 2 of her fingers. The entire room waited for her to speak. Vanessa waited too, but fear had entered her eyes. Adrian stood. "Elena," he said again, softer this time. "Where did you get this?" "I did not steal it," she said. "I did not say you did. I need you to understand that first." Adrian nodded once. "Then tell me." Noah looked up at his mother. "Mama, did I do bad?" Elena knelt and touched his cheek. "No, baby. You did nothing wrong." She stood again. "That car belonged to Daniel." The name moved through the room like a shh. Adrian's jaw tightened. "You knew Daniel?" Elena's eyes filled. "Yes. How?" "I loved him." Vanessa made a small sound. "This is absurd." Adrian raised one hand without turning. She fell silent. Elena took a breath. "I met Daniel 5 years ago at St. Anne's clinic. I was working the night desk. He came in with a cut on his hand after a motorcycle accident. He was laughing while the nurse scolded him." Adrian closed his eyes for a second. "That sounded like Daniel. He came back the next week with coffee for me," Elena said. "After that, he kept finding reasons to visit." Elena continued because stopping would be worse. "He did not tell me his full name at first. He said he wanted one person to know him without the money. When I found out, I was angry. He said he was tired of people loving the Blackwell name, and not him." Adrian stared at her. "Daniel disappeared for 6 months before he died." "He did not disappear," Selena said. "He was with me." Adrian's face tightened. "Not hiding from you," Elena said. "Hiding from your father." The room became colder. "Daniel wanted to tell you. But your father had already warned him. He said if Daniel married a poor woman, he would make sure she was called a gold digger. When Daniel found out I was pregnant, he was happy. He brought that little car from his old room and said, 'My son will know what I loved when I was small.' He carved his initials underneath, because he said boys lose everything." Noah looked at the car. "Daddy made letters?" "Yes," Elena whispered. "What happened?" Adrian asked. Elena swallowed hard. "Daniel was driving to meet a lawyer. He wanted to put my name and the baby's name in legal papers. There was rain. There was a truck. The police came to my door at 2:13 in the morning." Adrian turned away as if someone had struck him. "I was pregnant," Elena said. "Alone. Your father's people came to the clinic 2 days later. They told me not to use Daniel's name. They said no one would believe me." "Why did you never come to me?" "Because I was 23, broke, pregnant, and afraid." Adrian looked at Noah. "And this boy is Daniel's son?" Elena nodded. "Yes. His name is Noah Daniel Morales." The party ended before dessert. Adrian told the guests to leave. He did it in a voice nobody questioned. Within 15 minutes, the music stopped, the cameras disappeared, and the white flowers looked useless on every table. Only 4 people remained in the grand room: Adrian, Elena, Noah, and Vanessa, who refused to leave, because she still believed the story could be managed. Adrian sat at the long table with Daniel's toy car in front of him. Noah had fallen asleep against Elena's shoulder. The child's face was wet from tears he had tried not to show. "I should have known," Adrian said. Elena shook her head. "You could not know what no one told you. I was his brother. You were also trapped in that house with your father." Adrian looked at her sharply. Elena lowered her voice. "Daniel told me things. Not everything, but enough." Daniel had been 28 when he died. He had been funny, restless, and too honest for the Blackwell family. Their father, Charles Blackwell, believed love was a weakness unless it came with money. He had planned Daniel's life like a business deal. Daniel had refused all of it. Adrian had been the older brother. He had thought Daniel was wasting his life. He had not asked enough questions. That truth sat heavy in him. Elena said, "Daniel wanted Noah to know you." Adrian looked up. "He did. He said you were harder than him, but not cruel. He said you protected him when you were boys." Adrian gave a short breath that was almost pain. "When we were 6, he said. Father locked Daniel in the study for breaking a glass horse. I told father I had broken it. He let Daniel out and made me stand in the hall all night. Elena nodded. Daniel said that was when he knew you loved him. Some truths arrive late. But late does not mean they are useless. Vanessa stepped forward. Adrian, may I speak now? He did not answer. This is heartbreaking, she said. Truly. But anyone can tell a story after seeing your reaction. There must be proof. Elena opened the old brown purse she had carried for years and removed a folded envelope. I kept this hidden. Front inside was a photograph. Daniel stood outside St. Anne's Clinic with one arm around Elena. He was holding the silver toy car up to the camera. Elena's stomach was small, but visible. On the back, in Daniel's messy handwriting were the words, "For our son Noah. Tell Adrian, I was brave at the end." Adrian read the sentence twice. His eyes reddened but he did not cry. Not then. Vanessa looked at the photo. Photograph proves nothing. Adrian's voice turned cold. It proves you should have kept quiet. It could be forged. It can be tested. Then test it, Vanessa said quickly. But until then, she should not stay in this house. Elena hugged Noah closer. Adrian looked at her. You will stay tonight. I came here as an employee. And you are leaving this room as the mother of my nephew. Elena's strength cracked. What do you want from me? She asked. The truth, Adrian said. And a chance to do what my brother asked me to do. Vanessa did not accept defeat quietly. At 9 the next morning, she entered Adrian's study, wearing a pale blue suit and a calm face. Elena was sitting across from Adrian with Mrs. Phelps beside her. Noah was upstairs, still asleep in a guest room. Adrian had prepared. Vesas closed the door. This has gone far enough. Adrian looked up from the documents on his desk. Good morning to you too. She is manipulating you. Elena kept her hands folded in her lap. Vanessa pointed at her. Look at her. She works here for months and says nothing. Then, at our engagement dinner, her child walks in holding your dead brother's toy. You cannot believe that is an accident. Adrian's face did not change. Noah walked out because he heard his mother. That is what she says. Mrs. Phelps spoke for the first time. That is what happened. Vanessa turned. You are staff. Of course you protect staff. Mrs. Phelps was 67 and had worked for the Blackwell family for 31 years. I protect children, she said. Vanessa's mouth tightened. Adrian leaned back. You told Elena she would be fired after the wedding. Elena looked at him, surprised. Vanessa blinked. I said no such thing. Mrs. Phelps placed a folded note on the desk. Adrian opened it. It was a staffing order written in Vanessa's handwriting. Elena Morales to be dismissed the morning after the wedding. Severance, no reference. Child not permitted on property. Adrian read it once. This your writing? Vanessa's eyes moved to the paper. I was making household plans. You planned to ruin her work record. I planned to protect your home. From a maid and a sick child. Vanessa's mask slipped. From people who attach themselves to wealthy families and never let go. Elena stood. I never asked him for money. Vanessa laughed. Not yet. Adrian rose. That is enough. No, Adrian. You are being played. She found one weak spot. Daniel. Now she will use the boy to get everything. Adrian's voice was quiet. The only person using a child in this room is you. He removed the ring box from his drawer. He closed it. The engagement is over. Adrian did not announce Noah as family that morning. He wanted to. But wanting was not proof. And Elena had lived too long under the fear of rich people making promises and then changing their minds. So Adrian did the one thing that mattered. He slowed down. He called Daniel's old lawyer. The man was retired now. But he remembered Daniel clearly. He remembered a phone call about a pregnant woman. He remembered papers that were never signed because Daniel died on the way to the meeting. Adrian sent the photograph to a handwriting expert. He ordered a legal review. He asked Elena if she would allow a DNA test only for Noah's rights, not to question her honor. Elena was silent for a long time. Then she said, "I will allow it. But not because Vanessa called me a liar." "I know." "No," Elena said. "You need to understand. I spent 4 years being afraid that your family would take him from me." Adrian's face tightened. "I will never take him from you. People say never when they have power." The words hurt because they were fair. Adrian nodded. "Then we will put that in writing. You are his mother. Nothing changes that." "Have you ever needed help from the same world that once frightened you?" The DNA results came 8 days later. Adrian opened them in his study, with Elena beside him. The test showed a direct family match through Daniel's line. Noah was a Blackwell. Elena covered her mouth. Noah was on the rug, pushing the silver toy car between 2 wooden blocks. He did not understand legal words. He only knew the adults were quiet again. "Am I in trouble?" he asked. Adrian left his chair and sat on the floor in his expensive suit. "No, you are safe." Noah studied him. "Are you my daddy?" Elena closed her eyes. Adrian's throat moved. "No, your daddy was my brother. His name was Daniel. He loved you before you were born." Noah looked at the toy car. "Mama says he is in heaven." "I believe he is." "Was he bad?" "No," Adrian said. "He was funny." For the first time Noah smiled at him. The next weeks were not perfect. Noah still hid when men in suits entered the room. Elena still flinched when someone called her name too sharply. Adrian still woke at night thinking of Daniel driving in the rain. But things changed. Elena no longer ate standing up in the kitchen. Adrian gave her a paid position, managing the house staff, with health insurance and hours that let her be with Noah. "No gifts with strings," he told her. Elena looked at him carefully. "Why?" "Because my father gave gifts like chains." She nodded. One evening, Adrian found Noah in the glass garden, crying quietly. "What happened?" Noah wiped his face. "I miss Daddy, but I never saw him." "Is that silly?" Adrian sat beside him. "No, I miss him too, and I saw him almost every day for 28 years. Noah leaned against his arm. Adrian stayed still, afraid to break the moment. Sometimes family begins when someone finally chooses to stay. 3 months later, the mansion looked different. Not because the walls changed. Not because the floors changed. The house changed because a child's laugh now moved through rooms that had been silent for years. Noah still carried the silver toy car. One wheel still leaned to the side. Adrian had offered to fix it, but Noah said no. "Daddy made it old," he said. Adrian accepted that. On a bright Sunday morning, Elena found Noah in the garden with Adrian. They were sitting near the fountain. Adrian was teaching him how to tie a small red ribbon around the car, so it would not get lost. Noah looked very serious. Then he picked up the car and placed it in Adrian's hand. "You keep it," he said. Adrian froze. "Are you sure?" Noah nodded. "Mama says you loved my daddy too." Adrian's fingers closed around the toy. "I did." Noah leaned close and whispered, "Then you can share it, Uncle Adrian." The words broke something open inside him. This time, Adrian did cry, quietly, without shame. Elena watched from the path with one hand over her mouth. A few months earlier, her son had been told he did not belong. Now he had a room, a family, a doctor, and a name that no one could use against him. Remember this. A child should never be judged by his shoes, his mother's job, or the door he walked through by mistake. So tell me, what would you have done if you had been in that room? What part of Noah's story hit you the hardest? If this story touched your heart, like, comment, subscribe. More emotional stories are coming.